Melbourne is back in lockdown, Sydney has extended theirs, and we're stuck with masks for an extra week in Brisbane. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to talk about, well, lockdown news galore tonight, unfortunately. We've got what's happening in Melbourne. They're back in lockdown again. We've got an extension in Sydney and another week of masks here in Brisbane. I think it's only a matter of time until we get lockdowns here in Brisbane as well. Or maybe I'm just becoming even more cynical. But before we get into that, a plug from the sponsor today, which is our very own US channel, HeiseSaysUS, looking at articles, news, and topics from a US perspective. Check it out, guys, if you haven't already. Now, let's put all of this in perspective first. Here in Australia, we've had 31,513 cases, according to the Johns Hopkins map. You've had 912 deaths. And, they're already at 9.3 million vaccination doses. So they're getting up there, everyone. And, there you go. There are other statistics which are much more confronting with the number of deaths that people have. Now, if we have a look here, you can see these are the case spikes, everyone. These are the death spikes. This is the vaccination. So we're having a spike in cases here, but we don't seem to be having a spike in deaths yet. We'll have to see if that manifests, Now, this is something that you really need to look at. The case fatality ratio. In Melbourne, it's 3.95%. In New South Wales, it's 0.85%. And in Queensland, it's 0.4%. There is very little discussion in the mainstream media about the comorbidities that increase your chance of hospitalization. My understanding was that the lockdowns and interventions in the economy, in our lives, were in order to reduce the load on our healthcare system. Now, you'd think they'd have a massive advertising campaign showing what else can, increase your risk of going to hospital. One is being overweight. If you're obese, it's 40 times a greater chance of being hospitalized with this illness than without. Where's the advertising campaigns for that? Come on. We got to stop sparing people's feelings. So, Melbourne's back in lockdown, guys. Let's have a look at this statement from the Premier. Maybe they're highlighting some of the health impacts that you could make. Maybe if we all started losing weight and getting healthier, what do you reckon? Maybe rather than lockdowns, we should have month of forced carnivore diet for everyone. That'd be great. Statement from the Premier. So, we now have new cases, new exposure sites, and a strain of the virus that is wildly infectious. We've seen this strain before. And you probably already know what we need to do next. Victoria will not wait to act. We know that not much good comes from waiting. Waiting could see more people infected and the number of exposure sites explode. If we act now, while we're right on the heels of this outbreak, we can give ourselves every chance of getting ahead of it. Now, here's the concern. What's going to happen in the future? What happens if we're all, fully vaccinated, the whole country, and there's another outbreak? Or there's even a risk. They're locking down for a few cases. This is just going to be the default. And we'll discuss why I think this is happening. There are people that are happy for the lockdowns. They're thankful for them. If we wait, we lose that option. Which is why, on the advice of the acting chief health officer, so not even the real one, just the acting one, Victoria will go into lockdown tonight, meaning there are only 5 reasons to leave home from 11:59 on Thursday, the 15th of July, 2021. That means you can only leave home to get the food and supplies you need, for exercise for up to 2 hours, and no more than 5 kilometers from your home, for care or caregiving, work or education, if you can't do it from home, or to get vaccinated at the nearest possible location. These restrictions will be in place for 5 days. A list of authorized work and workers is available online here, but you know the drill. Yeah, this is the 5th lockdown Victoria's had. They've all worked so successfully. If you were an authorized worker during the last lockdown, you'll be an authorized worker this time around. Everyone must work from home, or everyone else must work from home. Last night we announced that face masks must be worn indoors at all times except at home, and outdoors when it's not possible to physically distance. Under today's announcement, face masks must also be worn outdoors at all times. We know this outbreak didn't start here in Victoria. We know that wearing face masks can keep us safe and stop the spread. So please follow the rules and wear a face mask at all times. Has there been any evidence of outdoor infection? Has that occurred? It's always indoors, isn't it? For those that have returned from a red zone on a permit, you must follow the requirements of your permit. That means going straight home to quarantine for 14 days and only leaving to get tested. And we must be clear, quarantining means staying at home. Our neighbours next door were quarantined for 2 weeks because she was on one of the planes up to Townsville where someone had it. Now, you'd think on a plane, everyone would get it because of the recycled air conditioning system. Not one person. Which is good. Maybe this isn't as scary as the media is telling us. Maybe. If you need help getting food and supplies, you need to quarantine at home, call the coronavirus hotline. We're counting on everyone to do the right thing for our families, our businesses, and our state. Stay at home and keep everyone safe. Are there any businesses left in Victoria? So Victoria isn't alone. New South Wales as well is in the lockdown, everyone. We'll jump here and have a look. So the lockdown extended to the 30th of July 2021. Given the ongoing number of infectious cases in the community, the current lockdown will be extended for at least another 2 weeks until 11:59 p.m. on Friday the 30th of July. We are constantly reviewing the health advice and will continue to update the community if any changes are required. This means the restrictions currently in place across Greater Sydney, including the Central Coast, Blue Mountains, Wollongong, Shell Harbour, will remain in place until this time. In these areas, online learning for students will also continue for an additional 2 weeks. We understand this is a difficult time for the community and appreciate their ongoing patience. It is vital people continue to come forward for testing to help us find any COVID-19 cases in the community. Restrictions in regional New South Wales remain unchanged. And, well, New South Wales and Melbourne are not alone as well. Brisbane, our COVID restrictions are extended for 7 days until the 23rd of July. Breaking, COVID-19 restrictions will be extended in parts of southeast Queensland for 7 days after cases of community transmission were detected overnight. There you go. So when we go out, we've got to keep wearing those masks when we go shopping. And I just wonder how long it will be until we get locked down again in Brisbane. Have you stocked up on your toilet paper, everyone? So why the lockdowns? Why? Let's have a talk about this. I'll have a shot of coffee, and you can look at the survey, the poll I put up 4 days ago on the channel. So I asked people, do you support the lockdowns? 23% said yes, 69% said no, and 8% said not sure. Now, of course, this will be weighed towards my viewers, which, there are probably going to be more people that are freedom-loving than other channels. But there's 23%. That's still a significant percentage of people that are support the lockdowns. And so why are we having them? We've seen evidence and arguments. Well, we've seen arguments against them in the past from eminent epidemiologists. We've seen evidence that they can't be conclusively proven that they've made an impact on morbidity at all or the spread. And it's the economic impact is blatantly clear. So I would posit an argument that it's the hubris of man, the illusion of control. People need to feel like they're doing something. Once a lockdown comes, it's probably a sense of relief for some people because there's something they can do. They're scared. They've got no way to control, and they're under the perception, the foolish one at that they can control things in their life. Maybe this is what happens when you've got a majority faithless society where they've got either no belief in an upper power or no understanding of Stoic philosophy. So they need to have control over all these things. They can't leave anything up to fate, or they don't realize what's beyond their control. So this fulfills that sense of control. This is why you have these people wanting to put their authoritarian will on others. And it's why I'm concerned with the growth in authoritarianism from the politically the younger levels here in Australia. People think they can do something about it. And you got, this is all the memes of the raging Karens, the crazy nutters, terrified, all the time scared, afraid, relieved that the government's taking care of them. It's the same thing when I was talking to a neighbour that was happy that our Premier kept them safe. How many people have you met out and about? And you're going, oh, I hate wearing these bloody masks, or we have to do this, it's bloody stupid. And they go, oh, yes, but it's keeping us safe. It's always about keeping you safe. So that's the argument I put to you. I think now a precedent's been set. We can't even be surprised anymore when there'll be lockdowns. It's going to take a generation or two before this behaviour, before calls for lockdowns will disappear. Think about it. Now people have become accustomed to it. They're going to call for it for climate change. They're going to call for it for, I don't know, any social unrest. Hey, they might even call for it for housing deposits. Let's have a year-long lockdown so everyone can save all that money and get a house. Is it really a joke anymore? So what can we do? Well, I perhaps naively some think I still would advocate for, political activity. Too many people are just apathetic politically here in Australia. Too many people haven't cared. Too many people have just ignored when others have warned about these rules and laws that are being put in place. They've dismissed it. Oh, that would never happen. Not in Australia. That doesn't happen in Australia. Oh, what? No, I'll just vote for the same party I've always voted for. I won't care about the job, the politician I'm putting in the house. Oh, what? A staffer? Yeah, let's just put someone who's worked for politicians in politics. Oh, a civil servant? Yeah, they'll appreciate the impact they're having on small business. Let's put them in there. Oh, what, a nurse or a teacher? Sure, they've actually had to work in the free market system. Oh, what do you mean? They've been in a completely unionized business. No, that's fine. Put them in there. People aren't paying attention to it. So you've got this build-up of powers now, and an acting chief health officer can strip your freedoms away. So there's an e-petition for Australian Parliament. I suggest you have a look at. Fight to ban vaccine passports and certificates. Did you all see what happened in France, where there's calls to limit restrictions and freedoms for people who are not vaccinated? It should be your individual choice. At least you'd hope. You shouldn't have to force anyone to take any medicine if they don't need to. Or have we gotten to a point now where the government is so paternalistic, they're stepping in for adults? Is that what people want in Australia? I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But sign that if you're concerned about that. And if you don't want vaccine passports, because, how could it be abused? Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Sign up for SelfWealth or Stake. Use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Buy our merch from HeiseSays. Use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.